do a rundown over the games that start tomorrow for the IEM event? Let's do it like that. Let's do it. We start with something at least. Bracket here. They usually do this. Yeah, 1 to 3. Every group bracket goes to playoffs. IEM Winter. Let's talk about the other teams in the group A. And which one I would like just throw out directly there. Which one I think actually we just go directly to the playoffs without even like really giving it too much thought process with it. And then, you know, go a little bit closer into the matchups in both of the groups. Like same as group A and B. G2 Tylo. I mean, I see GeT as winner right there. Liquid that team, which sucks because it's a cool team either way. OG, a little bit too unstable. So I don't know, 50-50 in that regard. We can talk a little bit more close into that. And IP Astralis. Astralis is smoking hot. I expect them to actually win over IP in the first round. But hey, you never know. Mouse Vitality. Also at that team, apparently Vitality is. But I expect Vitality to go forward because the hopes they have with that mouse push, it's not that high at the moment. And I think that a lot of people don't have that either. Gambit Fnatic. Ooh, it's going to be interesting to see if Fnatic actually can continue their streak. It's going to be interesting to see Gambit against Fnatic. Also because Fnatic is on their streak with a new lineup. Gambit is good. I always enjoyed watching Gambit. Either that people are complaining that they're online, blah, blah, blah. I still see them as a highly skilled team. Answer is pro. VP more because Ans doesn't have Snap in their lineup. FaZe is big. I hope that FaZe is actually going to have a better performance than they did at Blast. So I expect FaZe to win over big. Usually it's pretty tight, but I don't know. Godsend Heroic. I think that will be a split up Heroic there because Godsend can probably do like their wild card in their group. So maybe they can get a win or two. But I don't think a lot of people has like high hopes. They need to get like the right bracket and the right opponent and the right maps, basically, just like. But that's just like my 5 cents. So G2, 50-50, can't even decide. But let's go with OG. And IP Astralis, I'll go with Astralis. Because they looked really good at Blast. Also Vitality. Gambit Fnatic. Fnatic. Ends, VP, FaZe big, FaZe, Godsend Heroic. But if we go into the details of all the games, as you can see on the lineups, with Astralis, which is pretty cool with it because they added, you know, Config and Blame, they looked really, really good, you know, when they were playing Blast tournament. Not like in the ending that they wanted, and I don't think that they were super happy with like losing both of the games against Vitality. But it looked pretty solid in the end. And IP on the other hand, you know, just adding easy tag. And apparently when you look through the interviews for the like the tournament itself, they were talking about, you know, easy tag doesn't understand them in some situations. And, you know, the communication issues is there. It's also like a little bit too close from where Blast was happening. But I don't know. I could see, you know, NIP still go through to the playoffs, but I don't see them as, you know, number 1. So I don't know, like, but in the end, it's also like best of 1, so you'd never know. Maybe NIP just walk over them in a best of 1. But I have a little bit like higher hopes, I guess, for Astralis in that way, you know. I mean, if you just look on comparison on the winning of the maps, you know, the only one that basically, you know, must have pretty good track record is Vertigo. Everyone else seems like a little bit sloppy in that way. They haven't played that much. I played a little bit online games that you can see like 3 weeks ago. Halit on the other hand, we're still playing Blast. They went to the finals and actually won over, you know, Navi on their, you know, track record on Nuke. Was it they broke like their 20-0 streak, I think it was, which is impressive. Cyber with that 1v4 clutch, 1v3 clutch, which was amazing. And Cyber is Cyber, you know. Like, it's crazy to just look at their stats, you know. Mouseverse is pretty known for being, you know, one of those teams, in my opinion, that's really good in like best of 1s. And it's like, you know, a dark horse, a wild card. If they lose a little bit games there and there, People don't really pay too much attention to them, it feels like, and then they get away with wins. But people pretty like, or teams pretty fast react to that when they see they actually start winning against like really good teams, and you know, take them back. Vitality though, go over to all the rumors been happening. Magus and Sonic is going there. It's gonna be a French-Danish lineup apparently. So they're a dead team, you can say right now, but they did really good in Blast. So I expect them to actually keep going forward. Beamas is really good. Robs is really good, everyone knows that. And I also still have a lot of faith into Frozen still. Acre seems to be a little bit up and down, but in my opinion, he's a solid upper. But I feel like maybe he's put in the wrong spots in mouse sports. That's at least how, like, my point of view from him. So I hope either whatever happens, you know, if they're gonna do any rules changes like that he still continues and actually still like start performing even more than he's doing for the moment. Oh, G2. This is actually a really interesting lineup right now. Mostly because finally we're seeing Kenny S back on the server. Problem was that was Nexa doing game leader for G2. That to sit out. Everyone is like really excited, hyped to see Kenny S back on the server, which I am as well. And Nico is a solid in-game leader to taking up the role. But I don't know. I feel like everyone's just expecting to win over Tyler at least. Tyler on the other hand, they were staying Europe, which is pretty interesting. And they've been playing pretty solid in my opinion. Because they don't really get that opportunity to play against these teams that much. Since they always are like playing against the teams in China in general. I mean, not the best, not the worst. You don't know what to expect with them. I think it's going like, it's been a good trip so far for them, I guess, in a way. It's not the worst, at least. Okay, OG Liquid. Liquid actually had a pretty solid showing in Blast. In my opinion, mostly because, you know, everyone knows they are a dead lineup. We don't need to like really expect that much from them. So all the interviews they've done, the Stu interview, Elish interview, Naf has re-signed with Liquid as well, and they played pretty decent against Heroic, if I don't remember that completely wrong. Yeah, they won the first map 16-30, 16-12. Nuke Inferno. I think they were even leading Nuke a little bit as well. But I think it was a little bit more impressive, I guess, when they beat it actually NIP. A rumor that LXDB is going to G2. I'm not really sold on that whole thing, so I don't know if that's going to ever happen. But we'll see about that, to be honest. I think the Liquid has a little bit higher chances to actually win this game, even if they're a dead team. Mostly because they still be playing. And they know each other, you know. They're not jackass and gonna be douches about them playing still together, even though they're saying they're changing the whole lineup, leaving, etc. Players are leaving. It's just like OG hasn't been playing anything officially, not that like the recent time. It's still a best of one. You don't know everyone's gonna happen in that, in my opinion. This one is juicy. This one I'm really excited for. Gambit Fnatic. Fnatic is on a 12-match winning streak. And they're like looking really solid with Smoothie. And Gambit just coming off after winning the last tournament they played. The V4 tournament. Even though this final was like... It was looking like Gambit's gonna just run over Tropic. And then Tropic actually would turn it around. And then like the last one was just a clusterfuck to see like how Gambit just basically crushed them. We've seen Fnatic been doing pretty well ever since the rules change with putting Smoothie in the lineup. They won 2 tournaments, I think it is, online ones, a little bit smaller ones. Maybe not like the super duper like impressive achievements or like, you know, the status of the teams they won over. Some of them are really good, and some of them, you know, still trying to work out their merit and actually becoming even better. I don't know. I could see them actually going far in their group, but it all depends on how the tournament starts. I think they need to win this one to get like everything up and running. But it's gonna be a brawl, in my opinion. I hope it's gonna be like Inferno. I don't like to watch Inferno that much, but I think it could be a solid map to watch both of the teams. I think VP had a pretty solid showing at the major because they just added Inflict into the lineup like just 2 or 3 days beforehand. Yeah, I found it after one Google search there, basically. Like, don't sleep on Gambit. I actually like that tweet. And look for the categories like scheduling, like the tournament. I think this is like the first or second lower bracket game. And this is without an in-game leader. Just like 2 days before the tournament, Snappy got affected with COVID. And I was actually really excited personally to see. Could I just Google it? Yeah, I did. It took me 1 second on the computer, but what I'm trying to say is just like I was very excited to see ENCE playing this one because they stomped the first stage of the major, had a rough one, the second one, and didn't qualify for playoffs. Something happened between it. I don't know what happened to be honest. But I think they're an exciting team to watch. FaZe has been having the upper hand every time, at least for recent time. But I like this, like the matchup between FaZe and Big. They always feel like Big is actually having a control of the game, and then something happens and FaZe actually turn around and win the game. And I really love to see all of Steel playing. FaZe is a really, exactly like I said, a really good LAN team, in my opinion. They had a really big struggle during the online phase, and now there's some smaller or more LANs that are coming up. They've been performing much better. Big has this issue where they lost a lot of firepower when Santaris left. I think Flom said it not too long ago, where it's like they need to have Tapson up and running if they're gonna have a chance at Kaito even more so. Because now it's basically been Season, I don't know exactly to say his name. He's been performing pretty decently, but they need to have him on board if they want to have a chance to win this one. And it's the best of one. It's still like a flip a coin in my opinion, this matchup, because FaZe seems like a more solid best of 3 team. Big needs to get a little bit wins to get there up and running and like the ball running for them. But I think they're eager to perform much better than they did last, Big at least. Okay, last game of the first round of the tournament, Godsend versus Heroic. Godsend actually had a pretty nice running when they were trying to qualify for Pro League. They had to fight hard to actually get the wins. Godsend had to, through the last 2 games, like fight back. And Heroic has been, in my opinion, been very solid ever since they started playing LAN. Now they're adding Exist as the analyst / coach. I think he's still the coach of the team and trying to help them out before they actually find a coach. Or maybe they're gonna stick with Exist to be a coach. They have a pretty decent showing overall. Not maybe the best one, but like the games they're really losing, like against Navi, they took a map 16-14. Even though like that Mirage game, remember, Navi actually made a like pretty huge comeback and actually could tie the game. And Heroic has been playing pretty decently, like tight score against Navi. And Navi's the best team in the world right now. We're not gonna see Navi in this tour, which sucks though. It would be cool to see them one more time, but I guess we will have to just wait for the Blast finals. I expect at least NIP is starting to play much better in Group A1 after showing Blast. This one is way more open because new team, solid team, no in-game leader, much better on LAN than online. Had a rough time. Wild card of the group. Heroic is playing really well. This group is way more open to get like all the 3 spots in my opinion. Here is like seems a little bit more loud and clear in my opinion who's gonna advance. GeT in my opinion is gonna be 100% advanced from the group. Astralis I would say the second one. The third one is like between Liquid, OG, and IP if you ask me. GeT Vitality 100%. Then I guess all the other 4 here, Astralis, NIP, Liquid, OG is actually the last team. Or Vitality is not gonna start up well, lose the first round, have to fight the whole lower bracket. I don't know. My guess would be VP versus Heroic in finals, upper finals. Oh, in their group? Yeah, it could be. I'm really looking for the IEM fall event or winter. IEM Winter is called. Tournament to see actually who's gonna make it forward and actually show like a good result. Quick recap of the thoughts versus NFP versus Astralis. NFP, I think Astralis has the upper advantage. They look more solid. NFP has still the issues, the communication issues with Easter tag, it seems like when you look at the interviews from the tournament. But I can see them going from the group and actually advances from it. But in that matchup, I see more Astralis. Roses stopped training and all the rumors about the disband came out. They play better than ever.